I really, really hate Hillary Clinton a lot. I know a lot of people
Okay.
have a lot of reasons to hate her, but my reason is very special to me. Back when I was 12 years old, it was Saturday morning cartoon day,
Okay.
and I remember clearly I was watching Power Rangers Jungle Fury. Okay.
Okay.
I was a huge Power Rangers fan.
Yeah.
And so I was watching Jungle Fury. It was literally the second to the last episode for like the entire season of just that whole series. And right before, like right when that part of that Saturday started, right when that episode started, this government issued like impromptu, completely disrupting all your feeds came up, and Hillary Clinton was right there talking about something. I don't remember what it was that she was talking about. Was it important? Maybe. Not to me though, because she completely disrupted my entire viewing of that second to last episode of Jungle Fury, and I still
Oh
have no
man.
idea what happened in that second to last episode.
Not only that, you don't even remember what the announcement was. So like net
Right, and I
loss for everyone.
yeah, and but the thing is, I remember I was so upset. I remember calling my mom over. I was like, "Mom, why is this happening?" Like, I really feel like on ABC, because that's where Power Rangers was being shown. I swear they showed her what was playing in the moment, and they asked her, "Hillary, is this the moment you want to cut in?" And she's like, "Power Rangers, yeah, no one cares about that. Cut in right here, right now. Let's talk about America." And that's when she did it.
I can understand. You know, those like childhood hatreds are hard to overcome
They are very hard to
later
overcome.
on in life.
And that's why I didn't vote for her in the 2016 elections. Hey guys, welcome to the
Oh
XP
gosh.
podcast. My name is Rob, and I'm joined by my co-host Adam. How you doing today, man?
Dude, I'm doing okay. There's been ups, there's been downs, but we're going to ride out the rest of this day on a pretty high note. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. I've been having quite a mundane kind of day, and today this is kind of what I've been looking forward to get my mind off of just the boredom of the day. If you are watching, you're obviously noticing there's somebody missing from this episode, level 15, and
what do,
obviously,
what do you mean?
what?
He's right there.
Oh yeah, he's right over there. Let's cut right to him. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed what you saw. We don't have that video feed right now. We're recording ahead of time. He's still packing. He hasn't even left on vacation yet, but he's going to a good old sunny beach to hang out. And so, Austin will be back. Safe travels. Hopefully, he can get some gaming in while he's gone. There's nothing that I like more than when I'm on vacation and I can get a little bit of gaming in. That's always a big plus.
Yeah, and we know that Austin has his backbone controller.
Yes,
I assume he's going to pack it with him. If not, what are
fake
you doing,
gamer,
man?
fake
Fake
gamer.
gamer. Or
Yeah.
worse, casual gamer. Just
Worse. Exactly. Anyways, to start you guys off, the XP podcast is your bi-weekly video game podcast where we talk about all things video games and bring topics to the table to discuss for your amusement. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, corrections, or even topics to bring to us, let us know in the comments section of this video. And let's say you're listening on the podcast feed, where you can go to us on Twitter at Ambitious Casual or email us at xppodcast at ambitiouscasual.com. Adam, I checked the email for the first time since we started the show because I say that and I've never checked it. I went, there's nothing. So guys, please
Oh.
send some emails, guys. Well, just spice it up a little bit. Let's you can just ask us how our day is going. I don't know. Send us an email here or there. And lastly, for our podcast listeners, utilize the timestamps that are in the bio of the episode so that way you can jump around to the pieces that you need to. Video watchers, you don't have to worry about that. He's already break these out for you all. So without further ado, let's get right into the show. We don't have any housekeeping. We don't have any corrections. We're doing fantastic. We're doing great.
We're
So
on it.
we're on it. We're on top of it. We're like we're the best of the best. The creme of the creme. We're gonna be on Jeff Keighley's 2021 Video Game Awards show this year. Scoop announcement right there for you guys. Going into the first topic of the day, we're gonna go into mine. I'm gonna say, what the heck is PlayStation doing? Now, to those who watch our content, you might be asking yourself, didn't you kind of talk about this with Janet Garcia? Great thinking. And if you haven't watched it, go check that out on the Ambitious Casual YouTube
Yeah.
channel. We had an interview with Janet Garcia going over a couple different things. One of them was about the state of video games between Xbox, PlayStation, and kind of Nintendo, but it was mainly in regards to the main two of Xbox and PlayStation. And so I'm kind of revisiting this topic of PlayStation. Look, I want to get it out there. I'm a huge PlayStation fan. I'm not a fanboy, but I'm a huge fan. I love their games. I think they have the best first party games. I've rooted for them for a long time. The Xbox Series X is the first Xbox I've ever had, period. Other than when I was a younger kid and I borrowed somebody else's Xbox. That was it. But this is my first time. I've been with PlayStation PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5. And I just got to say, I'm really, I don't want to say I'm losing hope, but I am really questioning what are they doing. And so to start this all off, I think what kind of what made this pile on top of each other to make me actually make this a topic was the fact that one, Horizon Forbidden West has been delayed to Q1 2022. Um, that's not a no brainer. Like it was kind of in the cards. It was possible that it could have happened. COVID pandemic has affected so many productions of so many games. I think the thing that made it even not worse but added upon it was when the beta came out and you can sign up for the beta for the software OS regarding the PS5 so you can expand your storage utilizing an SSD, and the complexity of trying to expand your storage within your PlayStation. Again, the Xbox Series X, it's literally we're back to memory cards, dude. You pop in a Seagate memory expansion in the back, boom, you're done, you're ready to go. I will say, how much are those Seagate expansions? Practically almost the same amount as an Xbox Series S. It's almost that much. So I get it, those are expensive. Regarding SSDs, those can vary. But I think the thing that kind of made me the most upset is the fact that PlayStation announces this. You can sign up for the beta program, but they didn't even give a list of any compatible SSDs right off the bat. It's almost as if they're waiting for us, the players, to test these things out for them, and then wait for the IGNs and the I forgot their names. They do a lot of technical breakdowns regarding consoles on YouTube. Um,
Oh.
Oh god, it's game something. Anyways,
Mm.
so anyone like a lot of the main publishers, the main news outlets, waiting for them to publish the top 5 SSDs for. They're waiting for us to do it. Like, why couldn't you? You have the console. You made the console. You should kind of have an idea as to what is already like when you release that blog. Put on there at least 5 that you already know these work. Like this is it. Like you could get these. You don't have to risk it. It's gonna work. Um, and so those two things kind of happen. And to me, I was like, dude, what's going on with this communication? What's going on with like we don't really know what's going on for the rest of the year. I did write a couple of things down as to what we do have left for this year, and we'll talk about those in a
Mhm.
bit. But
So, I
go,
sorry,
go
I
for it.
wanna jump in before
Yeah,
we get
please
too
do,
far ahead. So,
please do.
I think to be fair to be fair, I don't think PlayStation has officially announced that they've delayed Horizon, Forbidden West yet. I think it's just been I think it's just been so heavily speculated and, like, circulated through so many different news outlets that people are just taking as gospel. Um, I think it likely is getting delayed, but I'll just say this is what happened somewhat similarly with the Nintendo Switch Pro non-announcement, right? Is that everyone circulated that it was happening, and then when Nintendo announced something that was different, it was like on the rumor mill, right? And we're talking about people like Bloomberg, um, other places
Man,
like that. So I double checked the PlayStation blog because I was thinking about it. But the funny thing I saw when I saw the PlayStation blog is that they have a lot of posts about indie games. So they're obviously trying to
fill
counteract
it
all of
up.
the bad press around
Yeah.
indies specifically that they're getting, right?
Yes.
So they're trying to like, hey, let's focus on conversation about indies. We've been getting a lot of bad press about our relationship with indies for good reason.
Yes.
For good reason. I have lots of thoughts about that. Um, but yeah, I mean, Sorry, I was somewhat distracted looking that up, but, like, you're right, what is PlayStation doing, right? So they've, really kind of dropped the ball with, like, their indie partners. Forbidden West is, like, basically been all but announced by them that it's getting delayed, and, how are they going to frame that? How are they going to do the messaging around that? And then, yeah, the whole thing with the SSDs is, like, a big deal. Yet, they do have the point in their favor, like, it's not gonna be a proprietary thing, like Xboxes currently are. But at the same time, it's like the with the Xbox ones, there's no, like, risk of messing it up. I don't know how big the risk of PlayStation is, but, like, as soon as you start talking about, like, heatsink, I'm thinking that's gonna be above what the common, like,
Oh, I don't
gamer
even understand that.
is, like, wanting to do. Um, and so that's pretty incredible. Do you remember the PlayStation 5, deconstruct?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Do you remember the heatsink on that thing? That thing
Yes.
was massive, so, like, the big
It's
copper piece that was
huge.
literally, like, this big, like, it is I don't know, it probably takes up, like, 25% of the internals on the PlayStation 5 that heatsink
Yeah.
does. Like, it's a big boy, um, for sure. But yeah, there's no, like, I'm hoping that that official stuff is coming, like, I don't think the firmware update's out yet, right? They
I
haven't.
well, so my thing is I've been already seeing people already working on it. Like they're already saying this one works, this one works, this one works. Oh, that people I
Mhm.
was talking about before, Digital Foundry. That's who I was talking about.
Right.
They're so good with very technical things regarding video games. They will
Yeah.
come out with a list soon. I'm pretty sure. I saw someone from a podcast. He just got accepted for the program, so I think
Mhm.
I think it's getting rolled out slowly to people. So I know he just got
Oh,
accepted.
okay.
So it's a beta program that you enroll and then you get accepted via what?
Okay. See, that's smart. Like, let your, tech YouTube channels, like, go for it first. Like, I could see Spawn Wave going after that. YouTube channels that does a lot of good work too. Like you said, Digital Foundry. So, like, honestly, they'll be the ones making the videos like, "Hey, like, here's how you do it. Here's the list of approved stuff." And, like, they'll honestly, like, handle a lot of the marketing about it on, like, for Sony.
Right. And I will say, so for one, I appreciate the clarity in regards to Forbidden West. Yes, it has not been spoken out of PlayStation's mouth that it has been delayed. When you said that, I literally just looked at the Bloomberg article. I got so I'm not gonna say upset, but it's the fact like, oh my god, dude, like Bloomberg has already gone to a point where it's like, all right, first the Switch Pro saying that this stuff was going to
Yeah.
happen, and then that completely backfired. This is another thing by Jason Schreier. The headline says it has been delayed. Like he's writing it, clearly stating it is an official thing, but he's
Yeah.
saying it's from people that he knows who are close to the matter. So there's a good chance that PlayStation could come out and say, no, it's coming out in November, and then make him look like a fool. So that's that's
Yeah.
already getting annoying with Bloomberg already because they've always been like this reputable source, and then they're slowly starting to throw things out there where I'm kind of like, dude, you're just throwing these out there for the clicks, and I can't
Sure.
blame you, but you really want those clicks, and really want to get referenced in IGN and GameSpot and all of them. I will say regarding the SSD stuff, I think I agree with you. The Xbox Series X can very well turn out to be like the PS Vita, where you literally
Right.
had to buy it from PlayStation. It was a particular card that you got from PlayStation. Once that's not being manufactured anymore, the chance of finding one is going to be very hard. So maybe 10 years from now, the Xbox Series X, if someone buys one, who's to say if they're going to still continue making those memory cards for the Xbox Series X?
Mhm.
I will say in the moment though, for just the everyday gamer, like a memory card popping into the back of your console is simple. I don't think, and for people who are us who are making podcasts, the fact that we look up our news articles, we're already way more than the casual gamer, way more than I think the bigger demographic of the gamers who utilize these consoles, especially PlayStation. They've already sold
Mhm.
10 million consoles. The idea of someone being like, I have to open up this, I have to open up my PlayStation's faceplate, unscrew this thing, put an SSD in, screw the SSD in, and then hopefully, I like fingers crossed, they do their research because it could be like, oh, I just need an SSD.
Mhm.
Okay, go get one. put it in, completely just roast it, and then you're kind of done. And again, I can already hear some people, because I heard some people making these points in other podcasts. The PS4 was, I know you had to open it up and actually take a hard drive out and put a brand new hard drive in.
Mhm.
I get it. It is not as complicated as that. But when you have a competitor that has made it so easy, I feel like, why couldn't you kind of do the same thing? So I guess we might see what will happen with the
Mhm.
next iteration of the PS5.
Yeah, I think PlayStation might have, I don't know if they might not care, right? In the conversation around expandable storage, yes, they dug themselves into a hole on how they architectured the PS5. I don't think it's like an apples to apples thing necessarily. I think the architecture for the Series X is a little bit more compatible with doing what they're doing. I think PlayStation went a little bit more customized in certain aspects
Yeah.
of the SSD and the connections to it, which doesn't maybe allow quite the same, you know?
Yeah. I,
Um,
I agree.
I don't know for sure, like, I'm not versed enough in all the technical details. It's just, like, I'm trying to, like, piece together things I remember being talked about in terms of, like, those, consoles being compared to one another. So,
Right. And the thing is, like, I love the way the PS5 looks. I know some people are like, that's a huge looking thing. It is huge. And right now, this my Series X and my PS5 are sitting next to each other.
yeah,
There's like literally 25% taller than the Series X. So
yeah,
it's a big chunky boy. But
mhm,
they didn't make it the way that they did for a reason. And the same way with the Xbox Series X. It looks a little weird that it's a tower, but they made it that way for a reason. And the thing is, you also have to think, okay, well, they made this for a reason, and they know that there's next gen PSVR coming out, so they have so many different things as to how you're going to connect, how you're going to let the heat out, how you're going to power it in a certain way.
mhm,
There must be a reason why they made it the way that they did. I'm not going to say that it's lazy. It's a lazy design. I'm not going to say that. It's a really smart design. The fact that practically the whole thing around is a complete heat sink blowing everything
mhm,
out, that's really smart. That's really cool. And the fact that you can take the faceplates off are pretty. It's not hard. It's pretty easy. I will say, for the everyday person, man, trying to figure out an SSD to put in that will be difficult. Now, Adam, are you gonna? Would you, maybe after, let's say, a year, would you think you dig into probably adding an SSD to it, or is space not been a big thing for you?
I don't think space is a big thing for me. Like, the way I play games is, like, maybe I have 1 or 2 multiplayer games I would have on, like, stack, but for the most part, like, I have Destiny 2 installed, but, like, for the most part, like, I play a game and then I'm done with it.
Yeah.
And also, like, I buy a lot of games physically, so I do save, like, quite a bit of storage space, from that aspect too, so, like, it hasn't been a problem yet. I don't think it will ever will be a problem for me. Um but if I did game differently and needed an SS, like, more space, I would feel comfortable doing it. Like, I feel comfortable, like, looking up the videos
Okay.
and figuring out how and doing it myself. Um, so I'm not. I mean, I've played around quite a bit with, like, even just my Switch. So,
Yeah.
which is somewhat different thing, but I feel like the Joy-Con are a little bit, like, more finicky. So, like, doing, like, the custom shell swaps on the guy,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
is a lot more probably involved, I feel like, than, or maybe similar levels of involvement as something like that SSD install would be. So,
Right. Right. For me personally, regarding the PS5, I'm like you. Regarding the PS5, that is my first party console right now,
mhm,
and it's only been obviously single player games. So I do have Final Fantasy 14 online on it, and I recently just got Apex for it, because my account is on there with literally all the heroes that I bought before, and I can't transfer them to
mm,
the Xbox. So I was like,
sure,
I just have to play it on there. But when it comes to space, for me, it's I I I need to get more space for the Xbox, because the amount of multiplayer games I have on that Xbox is a lot. There's a lot of multiplayer games on there. So I have thought about doing that, but again,
Mhm.
those Seagate expansion cards are almost like
Yeah.
200 and something dollars. They're expensive.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that over time and once manufacturing gets back into the normal state, that those prices can kind of go down a bit. But moving on from the SSDs and Forbidden West possibly being delayed as of right now, so many outlets, so many podcast places have been like confirming that it is true without
Yeah.
PlayStation even saying a word. So continuing from that though, I did want to look and see what do we have in store for the fall/winter if it is true that Forbidden West is delayed. Now, as of right now, there's a list of a lot of games that are coming out, but I didn't really pick the ones that are obviously coming out on multiple consoles. Obviously, I'm mainly talking about
Mhm.
those that are exclusive for PlayStation. And as of right now, this is what we got for this year. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, August 20th, 2021. Adam, are you going to be getting that
You said Ghost of Tsushima
Director's
Director's
Cut?
Cut?
Yeah.
I probably will. I won't lie. Like, when I saw, like, the story trailer for it, I'm like, "Ah, I'm going to get back into this," you know? I
Yeah.
loved my time with, Ghost of, Tsushima. It's a fantastic game, so if there's more story in it, especially, like, around, like, Jin's family history stuff, I imagine that'll be really good. Um, so yeah, I think I'll go and do it. I know there's been a lot of conversation around, um, people who are saying that they're not gonna pay, like, the $10 for
The
the
upgrade.
PS5 patch
Mhm.
upgrade.
They're only pay for the DLC and that's it.
Right. And, I mean, they can do them. Like, do I agree that I think it would be really cool of Nintendo and, to or not sorry, not Nintendo, PlayStation to include that upgrade for free? Yes, I think that would be great of them to do.
Yes.
There's lots of people who are doing their PS5 patches for free, even Sony themselves, like
Yeah.
with like God of War, Ratchet and Clank, but those are games are they're older, right? So I think that they believe they can get away with it because it's so close to the generation and they're going to have a lot of people buying it for the first time anyway.
Right.
If you bought the first one, I'm trying to imagine this in my head. So if you bought the first one at launch for $60 and then, like it's the $10 upgrade for the expansion is putting it at 70 and then like $20 sorry, $10 for like the upgrade then $20 for expansion, you're like paying like $90, which is almost like a deluxe edition at launch, but
Which
that
is
it just
normal.
seems it still seems crummy because the people who have waited to jump in and are getting a director's cut are getting it at 70, but also the fact is those people could go out and buy Ghosts of Tsushima, just the base version for $40 right now. So if you
Yeah.
imagine it from that perspective, $40, $20 expansion, $10 upgrade, that is like the $70 worth of content that's in the director's cut.
Right.
And so that's probably why they're doing it that way. Otherwise, people could just like, in order to charge $70 for the PS5 director's cut, when the fact that it's easy to just get the base version for $40 and then buy the expansion for 20,
Right. Right.
like, they have to charge the $30, but I don't know why they just wouldn't make the I don't know why they didn't feel like they could just make the expansion $30 flat, if that's the case,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
include the upgrade
Yeah.
for free for people who buy the expansion or don't buy the expansion. Like, I don't know why they didn't feel like they could do that. I mean, obviously, it's more pro consumer to break it out and give people the choice, but, like, the optics around it, I guess, are weird.
I will say, man, this whole weird again, this is another complexity. Why is
Mhm.
this like I Xbox is so smart, dude, with the whole smart delivery. It's just a thing. It just happens. And I get it. Xbox is owned by Microsoft. They can lose the money. I get it. I get it. But sometimes I'm like, dude, do I really need to pay $10 for an upgrade for my PS5 version? I'm gonna do
Mhm.
it. I'm gonna do it because I'm the kind of guy that wants to see my games that are obviously first party exclusives at the best fidelity.
Mhm.
I mentally in my mind cannot sit down on my TV and play Ghost of Tsushima with the DLC, knowing that I'm playing the PS4 version that's upscaled for PS5. I can't do that. I need to upgrade, and
Mhm.
and I'm going to. I'm gonna get this. I didn't beat Ghost of Tsushima yet. It obviously it came out way too close to The Last of
Mhm.
Us 2, and around that time, life was crazy for me at that moment. So I never got back to finishing it. And once I was done with Last of Us 2 and then life continued on, I literally told myself, I'm going to wait till the PS5 version of Ghost of Tsushima comes out and I will play it. And it's coming out very soon. And I'm actually
Mhm.
really excited about that because then I can jump
Mhm.
in and finish this game finally. And but it's just this whole weird thing of like, okay, well, now what I have to do is I need to buy the PS5 upgrade and then from the cloud download my PS4 cloud save to access it through the PS5 version to upload it's so complicated.
Yeah, for sure. I have lots of thoughts about the console competition. You know, they're all quick to say, "Oh, we're not really competing," which is fine
Right.
for them to say. But Sony is settling into, in my mind, a similar place that Nintendo is. So
Yes.
they have these suite of first party exclusives that just perform phenomenally, and they know that as long as they produce those, they literally can do just whatever and it'll be fine because the casual gamers who like I want to get, a new console because I'm going to play like these like 3 games that are first party games and like that's kind of what I'm interested in doing, or maybe they're getting it because they want something like Call of Duty but they're also like, oh, but this also has God of War, right?
Right,
And so
right.
they, for most people, all of this other stuff is just kind of not necessary. Like,
Mm-mm.
I'm not going to need to do an SSD. I don't really care about, I don't play indies, so I don't really care about all this indie conversation that's going around on with Sony.
Yeah.
And that's like a very similar place that Nintendo has been and has been it for years. They've done, and I'm not saying like Nintendo and Sony aren't doing good stuff with the stuff that they are doing well. Like Nintendo makes a lot of great games. They take a lot of risks with their hardware and uh, like trying out new things. Sony, they're making phenomenal first party games. They're really pushing the envelope on what it means to tell a story in a video game and how to make a like an interactive, like cinematic storytelling experience that's a phenomenal game at the same time with great gameplay. Like God of
Right, right.
War blows it out of the water. I haven't played Last of Us yet or part two. Um and it's just really obvious like they have something that they're doing really well. They can kind of maintain that and put like most of their thought about that going forward. And then Xbox, who's kind of got a lot of big first party stuff in the oven still and it's not ready, they're like, okay, we are going to literally win on every other front that we can
Right,
to stay and like, soak up all the free market, not free market share, but like all the other market share that's out there and
right.
to gain a lot of good graces with like the gaming community. So when you talk about smart delivery, when you talk about quick resume, when you talk about Game Pass and how they are partnering with indies and stuff like all those things are huge wins for Xbox. That's really great for Xbox. I'm really happy for them. It's just that Sony doesn't feel, I think, that they need to compete on those fronts when it's like, we've gotten the 80% of the market share with the 20% of effort. We don't need to expend the other
Right,
like 80% more effort just for like
right.
at that last bit. It's like, this is good for us. And like you said, Xbox, like, this is fine. We're going to soak up as much goodwill as we can. We're going to get as many Xbox Game Pass subscribers as we can, so that people think that they can't go back to how things were before. And
Yeah,
then when our first parties arrive, we're going to be on top.
yeah.
Maybe Sony doesn't. I mean, there are a lot of people who don't feel like Xbox is going to deliver on those first parties in the way that like Sony does, but like everything I hear about Halo multiplayer is for Infinite is really good and really
Amazing. Yeah.
phenomenal. So I think that possibly PlayStation is making an underestimation here, or they're just like, we will worry about that when the time comes.
Right. And everything that you said, I completely agree with. And would Xbox be doing what they've been doing if they were winning? I don't know. You can make the point that okay, they were losing, so you have to make some drastic changes and drastic moves to come back on top. And I will say, right now, Xbox and PlayStation are completely on two opposite diadems.
Hmm.
Like Xbox has all the gamer friendly features,
Yeah.
but no first party games. And already the big games that have been released on Game Pass so far have kind of not been that great. They've been kind of 60s, maybe 70s. Like you
Hmm.
got the Medium, did not review well. You got the D&D Dark Alliance game, did not review well. You got the Ascent, some people enjoy it, but it's not getting reviewed too well. So far they have no games.
Hmm.
PlayStation, on the other hand, not consumer friendly whatsoever. But they have they've already so far they has amazing games. This is the best lineup for a release of a new console
Hmm.
so far. You got Miles Morales, Demon Souls, Returnal, Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart. Like in the grand scheme of things, they're really killing it, you know. But it
Yeah,
just it's
for
we
sure.
it's you get lost in that sometimes though in the moment, and that's the point
Yeah.
of Xbox. They want you
Yeah.
to get lost in their messaging to cloud your judgment and thinking, oh, it's so
Hmm.
much better over here. But when you kind of get out of the cloud and you look from above, you're like, yeah, this is cool that I can go back and play Skate 3, but where's that Hellblade game? Where's that Halo Infinite? You know?
All I care about is that that store is an Xbox exclusive right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what in the world? This is, I mean, that's like my most anticipated game I think that I've seen this year, and I'm just like, do I do I buy that on my Xbox base
Yeah,
Xbox One? Do I just
yeah.
wait to see if someone else announces that it's coming to their platform after maybe some kind of timed exclusivity deal?
Fingers crossed it's maybe time exclusive.
Ugh.
I feel like that game would be awesome on the Switch.
Yeah, it would be.
Moving on to the next couple of games that are releasing. So we had Ghost of Tsushima, Director's Cut, August 20th. We have Canon Bridge of Spirits. When I looked it up, and you can correct me, it only says September month window. It didn't have an exact date when I searched it up.
I could have sworn that they, for some reason, the date September 26th is what's coming to mind. I don't know if I'm confusing
Mm,
that with Solar Ash maybe being October
okay,
26th.
okay.
Ugh, I would have sworn it might just be a release month that they said.
Because when you look up online, it was originally August 24th, and then I know they pushed it, but the developer pushed it just to the month of September. So
Yeah.
this is coming from GameSpot. This was on July 20th by Jeremy Winslow. Developer Amber Lab has announced that the adventure game Canon Bridge of Spirits has suffered another delay and now launches on September 21st. Okay, it's on the 21st.
Okay.
So that is the new date that they
Cool.
have set up for it. Adam, you're excited for this game, right?
Yeah, I think it looks really cool. Like I'm trying to like frame my like reference for this. It just looks really cool. It's got like very
It's got a Ghibli
not
style to it.
toyetic, but yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's this nice polished, defined, but like smooth art style. There's been a lot of other games I've liked that kind of seem that way. Like Death's Door kind of has that. Last Campfire kind of has that, and it's just like a very cute but awesome looking art
Yeah,
style.
yeah,
It's got major vibes of like Ori, or if you go even back further, like Tack Power of Juju, where it's like very
yeah, yeah, yeah.
cool nature, like integrated, like you're on some kind of healing mission for the land. And it looks like it's got really cool combat. You know, it's like a third person not open world, but like a third person action adventure type game. And it
Right.
looks really cool. Looks like it probably has a really cool story.
Yeah, it looks super, super dope. I'm actually really excited for that one. Next comes Deathloop coming out September 14th, 2020. Very weird thing about this is a Bethesda game,
Mm-hmm.
but this is exclusive due like before the acquisition of Bethesda to Xbox. Are you interested in Deathloop?
I'm possibly interested. I go back and forth on it quite a bit. It looks like a phenomenal game. I'm just not convinced it's like the game, like a game for me yet, or at least not in rank with everything else that's like coming up or in my backlog. So
Right.
I'll probably wait and see, okay, how well does it review, and like what do people say about it in terms of, if you didn't like this, it's different than that because of this, and that makes it more
Right.
enjoyable. So I'm kind of looking for some comparisons, especially since it is like a looped game.
Yeah.
Um, I'd want to know kind of exactly how it runs like that. So
Really has like a bit of like a roguelike kind of aspect to it that I don't really know much once you start playing it, how that integrates into it. But
yeah, I um not to get too much into it, I want to say I'm gonna, I think, credit this conversation to Barrett Courtney over on Kind of Funny. I don't remember
okay.
what. Uh, I think it was him. Someone was talking about it from over there. But when they talk about Deathloop being a roguelite, it's like it's not really a roguelite. A lot of people are kind of like maybe misattributing that. Like, you're looping through a lot, but it's not reassembling itself and like it's not that the environments are completely different every time. Which is like one of the big features of a roguelike. It is like a looped thing. I mean, it's a time loop, right? But you're going through over and over again, getting better, getting more information, like learning the different patterns and how you can affect them. And then you're doing the thing. Yeah, I don't know. You're winning the
Right.
game, whatever
Right.
the thing is.
And I will say this is made by Arcane Studios. I love Arcane. Dishonored 1, 2. They like those games are phenomenal. So Deathloop is a day one for me. I'm jumping into this. I've been really excited for what they've had in store for this game. This game looks super dope.
Yeah.
So Deathloop September 14th. And then lastly, this is the last game that we know that's coming out, PlayStation exclusive, is Death Stranding Director's Cut coming out September 24th. I'm gonna do the upgrade for this. I have Death Stranding. I think I've played practically half of it again. And guys, the people listening, people watching, if you haven't found this out, I'm really bad at completing games. I just sometimes life gets in the way, especially with when I was working my previous job. At I was just so busy all the time, and when these games came out, kind of affects where I was in that moment. So Death Stranding, I played half of it. I have not finished it yet. So Director's Cut for sure. I'm gonna be getting and jumping into it. Adam, are you interested in Death Stranding?
Yeah, I have it back here, not the director's cut or
Oh wait,
whatever.
well,
So I'm interested in playing it. I don't I need to I might need you to tell me if it's necessary to buy the expansion stuff ahead of time.
okay,
Because if it's, I haven't looked into it. I'm assuming it's working in a similar way to Ghost is, where I can, with the PS4 version, like pay $10 for an upgrade for the
yes,
performance, and then $20 for expansion content. So I'll probably start it and see if I think it's worth the extra investment, and maybe I'll let you play through it first and let me know if it's worth the extra investment before I just drop the extra money on it. So,
I'll be honest. Based off of what I have seen, I think there's not like an expansion. It's more so of you just pay because the game was $60.
mhm,
PS5 games are $70. So you're just paying the $10 to get it up res and everything to a PS5. Obviously, to utilize the adaptive triggers on
mhm.
your dual sense,
Right.
and that's it. And they
Yeah.
did add some stuff, but it's not like DLC, like Iki Island for Ghost of Tsushima.
Mhm.
It's just some little extra bits here and there.
Okay.
Other than that, if you played the PS4 game, technically you won't miss anything. The only thing you'll be missing is upgraded visuals, upgraded frame rate, and then the adaptive triggers
Mhm.
and all that kind of stuff. That's it.
Yeah. Cool.
So right now, that's September. For the rest of the year, July, August, September. Okay, October, November, December. For those 3 months, we don't know what's happening. There's been some rumors that we've kind of been waiting for a huge PlayStation announcement, and again, we kind of talked about this a bit with the Janet Garcia conversation, but I'm kind of reiterating it here. There's been some rumors that we've been kind of waiting for a big PlayStation blowout as to what's to come for the rest of the year because they're waiting for Call of Duty. Call of Duty and PlayStation are so together that they're waiting for them to finish up whatever it is that they're doing regarding a trailer. We are already in August. Call of Duty games launch in like November-ish time. So that is not too far away. And we still have no idea what it is, what it looks like, or anything like that. And this whole Activision Blizzard thing is not helping out whatsoever.
Right.
So we don't know if like, is it possible that we're going to get a Call of Duty delay? I don't think so. Is it possible that they're trying to get everything scrubbed and like figure all this Activision Blizzard stuff out so fast, get it done with, so that way it doesn't affect the sales for the Call of Duty game? And then that's when we'll finally get an idea as to when that release date is. And once that teaser is in the hands of PlayStation, then they're like, okay, cool. We have the big thing. Let's show what we have for the rest of the year. Do you think, Adam, deep down inside, there's a game that they're just holding up to kind of have like a here's one more thing for the end of the year?
Well, I I mean, I'm going to momentarily disregard the disrespect that you're
Oh
showing to
boy.
Solar Ash right
Oh,
now.
okay.
It is, in terms of consoles, an exclusive. I don't know if that's full exclusive, or I'm assuming it's timed exclusive, but it's coming October. I think I said October 26th, but it is coming sometime in October, and that I think will be a fantastic game. I think lots of people should play that, and maybe this just gives it the space it needs.
Yeah.
I honestly don't. I could be wrong. I won't be surprised if they show something, but my bet is that they don't actually have anything else big from a first party perspective that they can do in terms
Okay.
of like new IPs or anything like that. They could surprise us with
God
some
of War director's cut.
announcements, but yeah, I mean they could surprise us with some announcements of random stuff. I mean, it is Jack and Daxter 20th anniversary.
Get
Are
out of here.
they going to dust it off
Get out of
and
here.
I don't know what I don't even know what they would do with that. I don't I,
No, you'll get a Jack and Daxter skin for the Sack Boys: A Big Adventure. That's what you'll get.
sure. Uh yeah, or something like that, or Jack and Daxter joins Fortnite.
The big slap in the face.
I mean, Ariana Grande's in Fortnite, or about to
Don't
be.
even don't even get me started
So
with that one, man. Don't get me started.
anything is possible, except anything Nintendo. No Samus in Fortnite, nothing like that.
What a miss. What an absolute miss.
For Fortnite, maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know if Nintendo. Well, honestly, it could have been a good idea in terms of like celebrating Metroid's 35th anniversary, hyping people up to um play Metroid Dread
Yes, dude.
and think about, well, we're getting too much into like Nintendo strategy, but I don't think they necessarily have anything. They might find some kind of like non-new first party IP release thing to do, whether it's through some like anniversary collection type thing or like remake announcements, or I don't know, special. Maybe they really just beef up PlayStation Plus, for those 3 months. Like maybe that's
Yeah.
what they have to hang their hat on. Obviously, if they wanted to go off the wall bananas with PlayStation Plus and like upset the people who, I don't know, already bought the games, right? They could do like Returnal and then like Deathloop. And then I'm trying to think of like another big thing they could just drop on there that would um like really get people excited about like the ecosystem and like getting those games. Um, I mean, those are the two that come to mind. I don't know if like maybe they throw Ratchet and Clank in there too. Like I don't,
Yeah.
they could really, if they were desperate, blow the top off with like something through PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I agree. I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, by September, I hope we get to hear like an announcement of. Hopefully, we get a state of play in September, showing what's going to happen for the rest of the year. And at the end of that state of play, they announced we have a PSX coming for winter of this year, and then practically they'll show us everything that we know: Forbidden
Yeah.
West, Ragnarok, and then what else is coming out next year. So fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Guess what? Too, we'll wait and
Maybe we get
see.
factions. Maybe they like shadow drop factions.
Don't even get me hyped, dude. I would be so stoked for that. I'd be so stoked for that. I love factions, so don't even get me started.